get outside with Allison and Derek.
Thanks so much, Tucker. Derek, you're always wonderful with what we can do in our garden now, but now it's like a special other dimension. You're talking about historically what has always been beautiful and what we can incorporate into our gardens. Of course, this is Derek Thomas with Garden Grow, and Derek Thomas Landscapes is his own business. How fascinating. We're just talking
right.
about it.
We were gabbing off about the book.
Right.
No, it's an exciting book. It's from Marie Antoinette's garden. It's an 18th century horticultural album. It is by Elizabeth de Feydeau.
You love this book.
The book is, it's a great book because so many large format books are pretty pictures and all of that. This book actually gives you, they've gone back and found archival records from the architect that actually put together her gardens.
Right.
And they've put it together in a comprehensive volume where you can get out there, look at what was prevalent, what was, what Marie Antoinette was actually putting into her gardens during the 1700s, and think about plants that are still being used today.
I love
so
that.
when you look through the book, there's these fabulous pictures and stories. Now they talk about the iris. Marie Antoinette was huge on perfumes. Okay, she loved perfumes. She had her own perfumer who would develop perfumes for her. And the iris has been used for centuries as a perfume oil. And they get it from the leaves, they get it from the tubers, but it also gives you a description of the prevalence of the iris and why it was really important in her garden. They talk about things like the common box. Now boxwoods, we know boxwoods are used as topiaries and as different plants, but the thing about it is what they talk about in this book is how the boxwood was actually medicinal. In the 1700s. They used it as remedies, and also the tradesmen during that time used the boxwood, the mature wood, in their sculptures. So you can have that in your garden. They also discuss chrysanthemum. Now we have, and it wasn't used at that time, we use chrysanthemum for the chrysanthemum oils as a natural preventative to other insects. So if you take chrysanthemum oil, a lot of the organic sprays that you get are actually chrysanthemum oil based. But there's an interesting passage in the book that talks about Marie Antoinette. They found a letter that she had written describing the chrysanthemums and possibly naming one of the chrysanthemums when it bloomed after her daughter. She never got to that point because the uprisal happened. And so you go through the book, and jasmine. Now, Louis XV, okay, so Louis XVI, who was Marie Antoinette's husband, Louis XV had jasmine all over Versailles, and Marie Antoinette incorporated it into her garden. And you can have it into yours. They talk about magnolia.
Oh, it's my favorite.
And magnolia is well known for its fabulous scented blossoms. But this magnolia, the southern magnolia, had to be imported at that time, and they talk about things like, another thing that's a wonderful plant that I love is the camellia. And they talked about how camellias during that time was thought to be, you had to bring them into a conservatory. So they would bring them in the winter because they didn't know that they were cold hardy. And then also bay laurel. This is important if you have ever cooked, or if you like sauces. We use it as sauces. They use it as an ornamental plant. And you can also grow bay laurel. And last but not least, the true cabbage rose. This is available, I want you to smell that. This is available through David Austin, who is actually a European rose purveyor, but they have a shop in Texas. And here in America, we can get this actual cabbage rose. And if you notice, they call it a cabbage rose because each one of them looks like a cabbage. Marie Antoinette had it in her garden. She had 6 different gardens within her garden, and this one was in the Temple of Love. And so, the thing about this book and the relevance of this book, the book is going to be available in September through Rizzoli USA. You can pre-order through Rizzoli USA. But the great relevant thing about this book is, unlike other books that talk about gardens and show you pretty pictures, this one has things that we can use.
Yes.
Things that we can incorporate into
And I
our
love
garden.
the history about it too. So check out the book when it is available, but you can pre-order. We'll be right back. I'm taking these if that's okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.